Adam has arrived.
Hey, Maurice and Odie gonna take over like Zach and Cody. Black and Nerdy is the best podcast. Gonna boom like Wile E. Coyote. Gonna make magic, they move like they hairy. Ain't talking about mental health, no, it's not scary. You know that she coming up with the astrology. Mo got a comic and that's the best policy. Maurice the goat, talking about animation cause you know. Odie, she moving wavy like the boat. Watching some movies and she taking notes. Yeah, kick back, listen. Black and Nerdy have risen. Upload on a mission. 5 stars, never dissing. Black and Nerdy, ooh. Black and Nerdy, yeah. Black and Nerdy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Black and Nerdy podcast, the only podcast where two sexy nerds come together and shoot the shit. I am Mo, aka Kid Licorish.
And I'm Odie.
And together we are the aforementioned Snerds for this podcast. How are you doing today, Odie?
Well, first, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
And I am doing okay, seeing as last night we had a lot of drinks with our friends.
Yes, shout out to Danny for hosting.
The food was really delicious.
Yes, the food was really I will say this. This is not a knock against the food because the food was delicious. I hate eating fish with fish bones in it. No, because like it's a scary experience for me.
Because you think you're gonna die?
Because I think I'm gonna accidentally swallow one of the fish bones and it's gonna get like just caught in my throat and I can't like get it out like that. Because that's happened to me before. Remember that restaurant that we went to for my dad's birthday?
Oh, yeah.
And that fish had fish bones. Like, I had the lamb, but I did have some of the fish that my dad had offered, and it had fish bones in it. And me, look, I eat bones.
Yes, you do.
I eat chicken bones.
Steak
I
bones,
eat the ends of steak bones,
pork chop bones,
lamb chop bones. Look, if it's a bone, I'm gonna eat it. But fish bones, no, absolutely not. They're too tiny. They're just too small. Fish bones are just too small.
Marrow in them.
Yeah, and there's no marrow in them. Like all the meat is just surrounding the bone. What kind of animal doesn't have meat inside of their bones? And that's why I'll never be a pescatarian.
A pescatarian? Are you only eating New York Times?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. I only eat New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Hollywood Reporter. I was trying to think of a third newspaper, and that was the closest I could get.
Print.
Yeah. Okay. So, but
yeah, I was saying that we went there and we had a little pre-Cinco de Mayo celebration, and I got pretty drunk. And so
Cuatro de Mayo.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with. Why didn't we point that out at any point?
I honestly, because I forgot until way later.
Yeah.
And then it was too late.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of hungover today. I've been dealing with feeling a little off for most of the day.
Well,
I woke up very late.
I will say this: at least you could sleep in. I unfortunately did not plan yesterday correctly. Drank as much as I did.
Yeah.
Had shots of Hennessy.
Anything is possible.
Anything is that might be the title of this episode.
Because anything is possible.
I don't have my notebook, so we're just gonna have to roll with it.
Right in here.
Okay, thank you. Anyhow, you did not have to get up early.
I did not.
To go into work on a Sunday.
On a Sunday.
Ugh.
Going up on a Sunday.
Going up.
Or throwing up on a Sunday.
Yeah, throwing up on a Sunday. Actually, maybe that should be the
throwing up on a Sunday.
Throwing up on a Sunday. We have
throwing up.
Anyhow, is that everything that because you just had a trip? How was your trip?
Oh, it was great. I got to see my nephew. And he says Auntie Odie now. I gotta figure out how to put that in a drop for you to play.
You also had him say H-U, you know.
I did, and he was very cute. He was going, H-U, I know. Because he's only 1.5 years and he did not understand the response was, but he was very cute.
Do you see him going to an HBCU?
I am going to be trying my best.
All right. Yeah.
I'm trying my best.
So my godson, there's a part of me that wants him to go to an HBCU. Just because I think that the HBCU experience is one that I will always treasure, and it allowed me to be my blackest self.
Yeah.
Which turns out, because we're not a monolith, is just me being myself.
Yeah.
Me being the version of myself that I feel comfortable around without having to code switch or do anything like that. There's a part of me that wants him to go, and then there's another part of me that's like, get your grades up. Like, I don't want you to just get in just because it's a 1 to 10 ratio of male. I told you I never did the essay, right?
You didn't?
No, I didn't do the essay.
How'd you get in?
I have no idea. Basically, this is the story of me getting into Howard University. Me even going to Howard University. I'll tell it real quick. My high school sweetheart at the time, whose name I will not mention, she told me that, she would love nothing more than to go to Howard University. Like, it's been her dream. It's been her mom's dream. It's been her dad's dream. It's been her family dream to go to that historical Black college.
Of course.
Like, the history, the weight, the magnitude of that institution was so rich that she wanted to be a part of it.
Understandably.
And that was her plan for after we graduated from high school, was to attend Howard University.
And what was your plan?
My plan was like, I don't know, like, I guess I'll be an assistant manager at Target or some shit like that. I honestly did not have a plan for after high school. So in hearing her say that, I was just like, oh yeah, I guess I'll just go to Howard with you. I'll just go there with you and we'll be at Howard together, which she was insulted by. She was, not because she didn't want me to go to Howard University. It was just how flippant I was about my future. Like, that I hadn't really thought of what I would do for my future. And my only thing, or my only idea for the future, was to sort of glom onto her idea. So, we both applied, and I did not do the essay because at that point I had applied to so many colleges, and by so many I mean like 4. I had applied to 4 colleges. The other 3 I had to write long essays. By the time I got to Howard, I was like, I'm not doing another essay. So they said that the essay was optional.
Yeah. Oh, they did. I don't remember that.
Yeah. They said that the essay was optional. So I was just like, all right, I'm not going to write an essay. And then the day comes, I get that thick, long, large piece of mail. You know how it is. Like, if it comes in a manila envelope size,
you knew if you were getting into
you knew it
about how big the package was.
Exactly. If it was just a flimsy piece of mail and it was all thin, like, damn well that nothing good is coming from that. So I get the big piece of mail. Guess what my high school sweetheart got?
The regular.
She got the regular flimsy piece of mail. So not only did she not get in, this dream that she had for the future, but me, who sort of ass backwards stumbled into even knowing about Howard University, except for like references in living single.
Yeah.
I got in. So there was a period where she was definitely mad at me.
Do you think that's why that prompted her infidelity, or was that just?
Oh no, she was doing that the whole time. No, like I would love nothing more than to sit down. One of these days, I would like to invite her onto the podcast so that we can have a frank and open discussion about what happened in high school. Because I've moved on by and large. Yes, I have. I have. Like, if I hadn't moved on, I would have referred to her by some negative connotative names.
Yeah.
And I haven't done that.
But you still can't sing certain songs. So does that mean you're over it, or like does that mean all the songs that you used to not be able to listen to, or
what you're referencing is a few specific songs
really
that I
good
had
songs
dedicated to that particular relationship. Which is strange because other relationships I've dedicated songs to, and I was just like, no, I like those songs. You know what? That's gonna be my arc for the next year, is getting to the point where I can listen to Joe's I Want to Know and Sunday Morning by Maroon 5. Yeah, that was one that I sang that at a talent show.
Yes, you did.
That's my arc. And hopefully we'll get there together, listeners. Hopefully we'll get there together.
We should do kind of like a month by month, like
check-in
of like how often you listen to the songs, what your feelings were.
Yes.
And like, do you feel like, damn, like this is done? I can listen.
Yes. Into the mic. Into the expensive new mics. We also got new mics, by the way.
We did.
Thanks all in part due to Mania. This podcast is sponsored by Mania. But yeah, so are you ready to slide on into pop culture?
Yeah, sure, why not? Pop. So this has been a very like eventful week.
It's probably the busiest week I've can recall in a long
music
time.
Like outside of like Beyonce dropping Cowboy Carter, this week, what is it, a week and a half, 2 weeks?
It's been Europe. Oh, why don't I have that drop?
You say that literally every time. Anyway, so let's just we talked about this beef previously when after Drake put out in 2023, I think it was October, he put out his one of his last albums, and on there was First Person Shooter Mode with J. Cole.
Yes, that is where we start. That's where we lay our scene.
This portion of the beef, because honestly, Drake and J. Cole have been beefing.
They've been the Cuban Missile Crisis of hip hop for many years at this point,
which is interesting because both, J. Cole, Kendrick, Big Sean, like Drake, all of them, I feel like when they came out,
poor Big Sean,
because every time he comes out, I liked his latest single.
I liked his little single too, but it also came out. Yeah, his little single. I liked it, but it also came out the same day as Like That.
Yeah, and that overshadowed it.
And who was listening to Big Sean when Like That? But I'm getting ahead of myself.
First Person Shooter came out.
Historically speaking, this all started when Kendrick came out with the Control.
Yeah, when he was saying he was trying to take everybody's crown, and then everybody
he name dropped all these rappers
that were like really big at the time, Drake being one of them, but also along with like it was on Big Sean.
And that goes for J. Cole, Big Quit, Raleigh, Mac Miller, Drake. He named Drake. Meek Mill,
and so
Jay Electronica.
When that song came out, of course, like everyone, it was like he was like, "Yo, I love all y'all, but I'm trying to take your crown."
Yeah, I'm trying to murder you.
Drake, out of everybody, of course, was in his feelings.
Everybody else was like, "You know what? This is impressive. This means I'm gonna have to step up my game."
Drake obviously was not happy.
Drake was like, "Why are you trying to kill me if you do?
I thought you liked me.
I thought you." Yes. That is the voice that I imagine Drake has any time somebody goes up against him.
I thought you liked me.
I thought you liked me. That's the voice that he had with Rick Ross
and Metro Boomin in Future.
What happened to Stay Steamin'? I thought you liked me.
So fast forward now, 10 years later, First Person Shooter Mode comes out. Kendrick did not like J. Cole's verse. So really, I will say that Drake really didn't say anything. It was J. Cole who started all this up because he said Love when they argue the hardest MC. Is it K Dot? Is it Aubrey or me? We the big three, like we started a league, but right now I feel like Muhammad Ali.
And the irony of all of this is that Muhammad Ali would have never run from a fight.
You know what? The thing is, I'm proud of J. Cole. We've talked about this.
J. Cole dodged a big bullet.
But this is my thing. With the whole J. Cole bowing out, apologizing situation, I know that everybody was like, this isn't hip-hop. I personally feel like it is good for men, especially black men, to admit, like, listen, you know what? I got caught because after he released the 7-minute diss track, what was it called?
7-minute drill.
7-minute drill. And he was like, you know what? That was whack. I didn't need to do that. It wasn't that serious. And I feel like more men, especially black men, should take that to heart and saying sometimes you do shit that is not great. You thought it was good at the time. And then you look back at it and said, you know what? I can do better. Okay.
Right.
And then you say, you know what? I'm going to pull back. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to be accountable for my actions.
Sure.
And also, I firmly believe that Kendrick sent him the track.
Yeah, he sent him. I think in my mind, this is how it worked. J. Cole did his little diss track, 7-minute drill.
Yeah.
Kendrick, because he's cool. He's I would assume that he's way cooler with Cole than he is with Drake.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He calls up J. Cole and is like, look, here's what's gonna happen. Okay, I'm going to murder Drake on all of these various fronts in all these various ways in this amount of time. Does this sound like something you want to be a part of? And J. Cole, did you say Jadakiss?
No, I said J. Cole.
Okay, it sounds like
really bad.
Yeah. And J. Cole said, this is not in my spirit.
And I feel like Kendrick said, you know what? We're good, homie. See you on the flip side. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, Drake heard like that, and at his show that he was doing, what was the name of this tour?
Was it OVO Fest?
No, he was in Florida.
Oh no, he was on tour. He was on tour. Yeah. The it was all a blur tour or some shit like that. Yeah.
And so when he was in Florida, this was like right after a little bit after the song came out.
Sure.
He goes, I got my fucking head up high, my back straight. I'm 10 toes fucking down in Florida or anywhere else I go. And I know that no matter what, there's not a nigger on this earth that could ever fuck with me in my life. And that's how I want you to walk out of here tonight. Which was a very Drake response.
It's a very Drake response. And the
very, very 10 toes down. Like, what? Shut up.
I just had a moment where I realized there was a drop that I probably could have gotten.
Which one?
We don't want to hear you say nigga no more.
Well, after Drake said that in this last month in April, he put out 2 diss tracks finally, Push-Ups and Tailor-Made Freestyle. So
now this is what I will say. Push-Ups is catchy.
Yeah, well,
it's a catchy song.
He starts it out saying, I could never be nobody #1 fan. Your first #1 I had to put in your hand. You pussies can't get booked outside of America for Nan. I'm out in Tokyo because I'm big in Japan. Which obviously is calling back to Drake. Was Kendrick's first tour. He had him on various albums.
Arguably, you could say that for all the people that ganged up. Well, I don't want to say ganged up because it makes Drake seem like a victim, and he's absolutely nobody's victim.
Yeah.
Okay. He might be a fucking victimizer with all the stuff that we've been hearing from these songs. But he like Future, The Weeknd, who else? Meek Mill, Rick Ross. Like, would they have gotten #1 songs without him?
You know what? There was somebody.
That's a good point.
There was somebody that they were talking about, an Atlanta rapper. that apparently Drake stole his song. And I saw it earlier on Twitter, but I would have to find it again. But like the thing is with Drake is that he is what did Kendrick say? You're not a colleague, you're a colonizer.
Yes.
That is him. Like he literally Afrobeats, dance hall, Southern
He
rap.
doesn't have a culture of his own, so what he has done over the past decade or so is adopt the culture of whatever is the hottest wave.
Exactly.
So with Atlanta culture, with Afrobeats culture, with fucking London drill culture.
He's going to lock on to any new artist. Oh, here's his name. His government name is Shelly Massenberg Smith, blackest name in the world.
Oh, Dram?
Other known as Dram, and he said that Drake jacked his record. And he actually said that I think the song was Cha Cha Swag. And that's what Drake used to make Hotline Bling. And so I'm curious. I saw this earlier. I'm like, I have to listen to both. But if you think about it, a lot of times Drake will see an upcoming rapper, whether they're male or female, and he will glob onto them and will be taking on their flow, taking their fans. And of course, because he's the bigger artist, he takes them and runs on it, and then the people don't have a career.
Is it called Cha Cha? Or is it called Cha Cha?
It looks like it's it says Cha Cha Remix?
Cha Cha Remix.
So that's not the song I like to Cha Cha. That's not that song.
I'm looking up Dram's Cha Cha.
Is anything coming up?
Well, Cha Cha is coming up. A rapper claims Drake stole his song to make Hotline Bling.
Oh shit! And he got jumped by Drake's bodyguards.
Yeah, that is the least surprising in the world.
And Dram just has a new album, so support it.
Yeah, support Dram. Shout out to Dram. I liked his song with Lil Yachty. Wasn't it Broccoli?
That was it.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that. Didn't that? Okay, now tell me if I'm wrong, but didn't this song? Yes. You know what? I am hearing.
Yeah, I heard a little bit
like
of Hotline
Cha Cha. Yeah, I love that song.
And I like this song because it samples the Super Mario World song for, I forget the Star Road. Which is the nerdy part of me coming out, because of course I would know some Super Mario lore like that. But yeah.
So Drake came up with first he dropped Push-Ups.
Yeah.
Which
is catchy. It is catchy.
The thing about Drake is he generally is gonna come out with a song that sounds good that you can play in a club.
Yes.
And then he put out Tailor Made, which I feel like was specifically to
egg on Drake. I mean, egg on Kendrick.
In that one, he had an AI of Tupac and the AI of Snoop, basically being like speaking to the Tupac one was speaking to Kendrick. The Snoop one was speaking to Drake, I guess. But that was like, okay.
It was weird. I will say that it was uncomfortably weird to like AI dead. That's a whole conversation that we could have.
Tupac, and then having Snoop, who has no idea that you're putting him out on something.
Yeah, that's a whole fucking conversation to be had in and of itself about AI and using music AI for dead musicians.
But I think the weird thing is that I remember last year or so, Drake got upset because there was an AI. He was talking about AI being used wrong and how like you could take somebody's voice and make records on it. But then he's doing the same thing, which is like he never.
Oh, it's almost as if Drake doesn't have morals. It's almost as if Drake is a cacophony of bullshit amalgamated into a successful rapper.
It seems like it. It seems like it.
And if anybody thought that I was going to be objective when it came to this, you were sadly mistaken because I am letting my bias show.
Kendrick hype.
Like we are are we is it safe to say we're team Kendrick?
I'm pretty sure we're team Kendrick.
Team Kendrick all the fucking way. But I will give Drake his credit where credit is due. Push-Ups is a catchy fucking song.
Yeah, so like Push-Ups came out.
Shut your hoe ass up and make some drums, nigga. Like that's fucking clever.
Somebody Metro Boomin actually has gone on Twitter and he put out a beat. And it's the hashtag BBL Drizzy beat giveaway. Mm-hmm. And you should look at the hashtag because folks are rapping. And it's funny that Drake mentioned being hot in Japan because there was a Japanese rapper who was doing the challenge as well. And didn't understand what he said, but it sounded like fire. So I feel like someone said Metro Boomin is more upset than Kendrick. But Kendrick dropped Euphoria, which I love. And he just really goes in. First of all, the song is 3 parts.
Yes.
With 3 different beats.
Yes.
And people have been picking up that Kendrick is pulling in
such a dense piece of work.
Yeah. You have to sit with it. You have to listen to it. You have to sit with it. And also conclude. Like, people are definitely putting on their tinfoil hats to try to say, like, where Kendrick is pulling some of these things from. And I love it because to me, like, this is the part about rap, even though I'm like, damn, like the main thing we have about rappers right now is that you're on Ozempic and getting fucking BBLs, but it's working. And then also Kendrick comes at him talking about he's a predator.
Yeah.
A sexual
Kendrick
predator.
In Euphoria deconstructs Drake like as an opening salvo to the war that is Kendrick versus Drake. Euphoria, if it started with just a quick shot from him and like that, this was the absolute like jab.
Yeah.
And this was a fucking jab in that he deconstructed the shit like in so many fucking ways.
Yeah.
And it's there. Let me gather myself because I'm super excited. I'm really excited to talk about this. There are 3 beats on the song. Mm-hmm. It starts off with what is, I would say, some J. Cole style, like sleepy shit. But if you're paying attention to the words, it's literally just J. Cole warning Drake, like, hey, man, some shit's about to come. And I just want you to know, like, I don't like you, but I want to keep this as respectful as possible because I have shit on you and you have no idea where I'm going to go with this. And then it fucking switches. Look, listen, so many goddamn quotables from this goddamn song.
Can you play some of the drops that I picked? Or do we have any from Euphoria?
Yes.
And side note, did you know, well, not really a side note, but did you know that Drake is an executive producer on Euphoria?
Yes.
I didn't know that until this record.
That's also why it was called Euphoria.
Because when I was reading about it, I was like, oh shit, okay.
Euphoria, a show about teenagers getting into sexy shenanigans.
And people have always
interesting that Drake is attached to such a thing.
And folks have constantly said that they feel like the depiction of these high school students, especially the girls, because for what is it? Is it Sydney Sweeney who always had like her boobs out on the show? It was one of them. I'm
not gonna lie to you. I never watched Euphoria. I wanted to.
I did not watch it. It's just very dark, and I was like, I need to be in the mindset.
Yeah, I have to be I have to watch it during the daytime.
Yeah, like it's a lot.
And also, I'm a grown adult. Like I watched Degrassi when Degrassi was in its height, and I was a teenager when Degrassi was in its height. The minute I started going back and watching Degrassi as a full-grown adult, I felt uncomfortable.
It was uncomfortable. So thinking that Drake was the executive producer on the show.
Well, we're rooting for Manny. Like, come on, Manny.
Makes sense.
And Spinner.
Ugh,
Oh, you didn't like Manny and Spinner?
no, I did not.
Oh, what? You like Spinner and Paige?
They were better than Manny and Spinner. It didn't even make sense.
Wow.
Manny and Craig, sure, but not Manny and Spinner.
All right. Fine. Well, Manny. Well, I was always Team Craig and Team Ashley. Craig and Ashley.
No, I preferred I was Team Craig and Ashley.
Manny was a little fucking.
Manny.
She was doing her thing.
Was a young woman out here looking for freedom.
Yeah, do your thing, Manny.
She was just trying to figure it out and get sucked in by some of these by older men who were preying on her. So it makes sense that Drake, and this, you know what? I'm not going to say that there's any rhyme or reason to Drake's lifestyle that he currently has, but I am curious if whether Drake needs to have his quiet on the set moment.
Maybe he does need that because who knows what it is with Drake.
What is it? The brakes?
It might be. They're too tight.
What is it? The brakes?
They're too tight. Okay, so the Euphoria came out. Honestly, love it. It is a great song.
It's 6 minutes long.
It's 6 minutes long, and honestly,
it's a 6-minute dissertation of who Drake is.
To it longer than I could. If they people have been saying that there's allegedly a 17 minute song, I would listen to that.
Oh shoot! Hold on. Sorry. Keep talking. My bad. I'm trying to figure something out.
Now, my favorite verse of Euphoria is when Kendrick decides to tell him all the things that he hates about him.
Yes.
He says, I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you
I
walk.
hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that you sneak this. If I catch flight, it's gonna be direct. We hate the bitches you fuck, cause they confuse themselves with real women. Then notice I said we, it's not just me. I'm what the culture feeling.
That is such great hate. I love, can I tell you? I love haters. I don't understand this culture that we have created, this generation and the generation coming up under us, where we have to say, don't listen to the haters. Sometimes haters have good critiques.
And it's feedback.
It's feedback. It's constructive. Haters give constructive criticism. They do it in a way that may not be to your liking,
but you're getting it.
And
you should listen.
And you should fucking listen. Drake, listen to the.
I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that you sneak this. If I catch flight, it's gonna be direct. We hate the bitches you fuck, cause they confuse themselves with real women. Then notice I said we, it's not just me. I'm what the culture's feeling.
I am what the culture is feeling.
One of my favorite Kendrick verses is when he says, I'm an old school Gemini.
Yes.
I felt that in my soul. Because this is the thing, as you know, I'm a Gemini.
Yes.
And I do my best to constantly keep my mouth in check.
Nani?
Because
is that true?
I know that if I were to let my feelings fly, that folks would be hurt.
Folks.
And I'm like, I don't want to bring, but if you bring it out,
bring them out.
I cannot be held accountable for what comes out of my mouth. Okay. Kendrick said, how many more black features till you finally feel that you're black enough? Like, I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he acts tough.
Yeah.
Like, I need more of it. I love it so much. It brings joy to my soul. And people were trying to create this sort of narrative where it's like, oh, this is colorism, whatever. This is the thing.
What do you mean it's colorism?
They were trying to say because Kendrick was coming for Drake because he's mixed. Not true. Because J. Cole is also mixed.
Yeah, and he's not coming for J. Cole's ass.
Because
J. Cole said, no, I'm out of here.
It is not about whether both of your parents, your grandparents, whomever are black. It is about what your association with blackness is.
Yes.
And Drake has curated his blackness. It's not something that like, okay, you grow up in, a family you have a white mom. You're not really with your dad that much. You have to learn about
he's
Black.
adopted American Black culture.
But he said that he never experienced racism until he was trying to talk about, he was in hip hop and Black people were saying, you're from Toronto. What do you know about that? Like, and he was trying to say Black people were what introduced him to racism. And it's not to say that there are not Black people who will be.
How much you want to bet it was Black women? That's why he hates them. That's why he hates Black women. That is probably why Drake hates Black women.
Can we say thank you, Meg the Stallion? Because if it was not for Meg and her diss track to open the door to all of these great shenanigans, I don't think we could have got it. And now it makes me even think more about that line when she said, y'all don't hate Megan, y'all hate Megan's Law, as she was talking to multiple people, Nicki and Drake.
Oh,
because both of them.
That's a really good point that I hadn't even thought about.
Both of them.
It could actually be for Nicki or Drake, because of course Nicki is known for harboring at least two questionable individuals, one of which is her husband.
Her husband and her brother.
And her brother. Sure. And Drake, him and his camp, oh boy.
I mean,
as we find out later on in
he dropped 616 in LA.
616, yeah, 616.
And that was, I mean, everybody, can you pull up the photo?
Wait, hold on. Before we move to 616 in LA, I wanted to say what my favorite line from Euphoria is.
When I see you stand by sexy red, I believe you see two bad bitches. I believe you don't like women. That's real competition. You might pop ass with them.
Because it's true.
It's absolutely true.
And this is nothing to say about, this is not calling Drake queer or anything like that.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Drake, when he sees a woman, specifically, a black woman, he feels like he
wants to be a fucking baddie, just like he wants to be a fucking baddie.
Like he wants, because the thing is, I think that Kendrick is very aware of their audience, and he knows that men, the black men, whatever, that go to these Drake shows, they're also in competition with black women, not because they're queer, but because they are dick riding so hard.
Yes.
That they will do anything to get into that place. And Drake wants it. He needs the accolades and the admiration of these men because he doesn't want anybody to call him on his bullshit. And he knows that if he says something, the OVO hoes are going to come out in mass to try to protect him even when he's on his bullshit. Yeah. And those OVO hoes are not women. So it's a lot of quadruple entendres, all of them. He's getting him at every angle.
And that's when 616 in LA,
which came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, we were going to bed. Like people just were trying to
For
sleep.
the record, Kendrick alluded to the fact that he was going to do a back-to-back.
He did.
Euphoria. There's a line where he's just like, back-to-back. I like that record.
You didn't like that record?
Yeah.
When I see you stand by sexy red, I believe you see two bad bitches.
I'm gonna use that very often.
I love 616 in LA.
Mm-hmm. It's can I tell you that 616 in LA is actually my favorite of all of the disses.
Why?
I like the beat. I like the melody.
The melody
it's I think it's Al Green.
Yeah, it is. It is Al Green.
Yeah. Which is, and it's funny because the producer of 616 in LA is Taylor Swift's producer. So in other words, it's a response to Taylor Made. It's actually Taylor Made because Taylor Swift's fucking producer made that beat.
Look at the
layers on layers.
Layers on layers.
Pusha T walked so that Kendrick could fly.
Yes, and I would like Pusha T to come out with something new. I want him to come out, add on to the beat, because I know you got some shit.
Honestly, I hope all of this caps off, like, because it based on this, either Kendrick's done and he's just like waiting for Drake to release new music so that he can keep going. I hope that this caps off with like the last Kendrick song is a duo with him and Pusha T.
But I want it to be Kendrick, Pusha T, Meg Thee Stallion, and Rihanna.
That would be so great.
Because then, like,
I don't know about Meg Thee Stallion though.
Why not? Why not Meg Thee Stallion?
We're gonna talk about that on another episode.
Okay.
Not in a bad way. I love Meg Thee Stallion. Meg Thee Stallion is amazing. I don't know if I see her like as part of the Infinity War train that is coming after Drake, because she said her piece in Hiss, and she is now living her fucking best life, just doing whatever the fuck she wants to do and making Planet Fitness things. Like, she said,
sorry, that was me.
Yeah, please don't do that. She said her piece, and she doesn't seem to want to engage any further. And I just would, if that's where she is, if that's what she wants to do, then I want her to.
I would really like
just
if she came out on something.
Yeah, but I do agree with Rihanna. She should. She's never coming back. You know that, right? There's no more music from Rihanna.
She said she was coming out with something.
She said a lot of things, but she's also a billionaire, and she doesn't need music ever anymore. Ever. Her and her husband and their fucking babies are just. Sorry, her and her ASAP are just enjoying a lovely spaghetti meal as a family.
I love spaghetti.
I'm hungry. You want Dino? No, you didn't like Dino last time.
All right. Actually, I went to tacos.
You want tacos?
It's
you want Mexican?
It's Cinco de Mayo.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, you know what place probably has tacos?
I would like some birria tacos.
Oh well. It's not buy one, get one.
They do have to buy one, get one.
Do they have buy one, get one?
Yeah, but it's only 2 tacos. So
at the place that I'm thinking of?
Yeah, but we have to get 4.
It's not going to be filling for me. Anyhow,
all right. So moving on, Drake responded to Kendrick with Family Matters. And I would like to call out some of the lyrics that Drake said. Just like how Metro nigga slimed him for his main squeeze, out here begging for attention, nigga, say please. Always rapping like you about to get the slaves freed. You acting like an activist. It's make believe. Which I thought was very weird. And but also in line with Drake's response to Kendrick in general, because he had said years ago that if Kendrick had not would stop all of his conscious shit, that he would have more fans.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like weird to me, because I'm like, Drake, why should you be conscious and also have fans? Like, it shouldn't be a one or the other.
Hold on, I just want to see something real quick. This is Drake saying the N-word. There.
Can you pull up the picture that I sent you?
Yes, of course I can. I wanted to play that because I have to be honest with you. I also don't want you to say that anymore. That was as much to Drake as it was to you, because
it's not a word I say.
It is not a word that you say. So when you say it, it sounds
like
harsh,
because that's how the word sounds. Like, I don't. There's and listen. Every black person is allowed to create whatever feel or have whatever feelings they have
For
about the N-word.
yes.
Me personally,
Mhm.
I just do not understand the desire to say it. Because nobody, we don't like, well, okay. We could say that in the queer community,
Mhm.
people say the F word a lot.
Yes, they do.
So there you can take something back, but do I think that means that it's like it sounds good? No, but also we don't hear that word. We don't hear the F word used nearly as much as the N word. And it's not like you have to deal with white people coming up to you singing.
It
a
also
song.
it just sounds harsher than the N-word.
I
It
don't know.
has that T.
Well, the T is a harsh.
The T's very
T
harsh.
sounds harsh. But I feel like I feel like white people have forced us to put these in songs and movies and all that for the ability to be able to say, what we heard it in the music. We couldn't say it.
Can I tell you, I had a dream where I said it at work and immediately got fired.
You're just like, nigga, what?
Yeah. It was something really quick, and then I got called into the office by my boss, who said, "Did you say this?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I did." He's like, "Well, sorry, but you gotta go.
Get out of here."
That's not professional language." And I'm like, oh shit. It was a weird dream. It was a boring dream, but it was a weird dream nonetheless.
Well, Kendrick told Drake he does not want to hear him say no more.
Mm-hmm. And this is probably the reason why, for the video listeners or watchers. Yeah, that is Drake in blackface. Now, this was brought up originally by Pusha T for it was the artwork for the song Story of Adidon.
Yes.
We have to remember, just like the other day when I said that Ted Danson wore blackface, we have to remember that Drake at one point in his life wore blackface.
Yeah. And that is something he's going to have to.
I like that it's evenly in the middle between us, so that it's like we have a guest on the show.
Well, Drake, how did you feel about doing
Drake, how long did it take for you to remove the charcoal paint that was on your face? What did you know the radius of the red lips to use? Because some people would have gone wider, some people would have gone a little bit more thinner. You went the wide route, and I want to know why.
What was your inspiration?
Was Bamboozled your inspiration? Oh, have you seen Bamboozled?
I have, but not a long time, but I have seen it.
All right, that's enough of this. Get this bullshit off my thing. All right, now.
So Kendrick came out with Meet the Grams.
Meet the Grams.
Which was in response.
Yet another scathing
Family Matters
song. First off, it came out like within minutes of Family Matters coming out.
He heard that. He said, "I'm prepared.
I'm absolutely
locked and loaded,"
which leads credence to the idea that he has people within the OVO camp. Like in his previous songs, he said that he's alluded that like OVO has snakes who are rooting for Drake's downfall. And
between the pedophiles and the snakes, I mean, not really a great.
And to not only have a song ready to go, but a song that kind of pairs well with the whole family motif in Meet the Grams, and to step on his fucking rollout, he dropped that shit and was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna sit back and see how." Wait, what? Immediately,
I know Drake was upset.
Yeah, first off, I feel in all of this, I feel sorry for Drake's writers.
Oh yeah,
I feel they are being worked like American slaves.
But you want to know what when I watched when I listened to the song, it made me think of that next picture that I sent you. that Kendrick was really just going for it.
Yes. Now, if you're a watcher of the video, I titled this when I saved the photo as Kendrick. Kendrick.
If you watched Degrassi, you will remember Jimmy when he became wheelchair Jimmy because he befriended an outcast named Rick.
Yes.
And that outcast was pranked one day in a very brutal way and came back and shot Jimmy and turned him into wheelchair Jimmy.
And Kendrick is going to do the same. He's going to he's essentially taking away the facade that is Drake.
I mean, okay, he opens up Family Matter or Meet the Grams by saying, "Dear Adonis, I'm sorry that man is your father. Let me be honest. It takes a man to be a man. Your dad is not responsive. I look at him and wish your grandpa would have wore a condom. I'm sorry that you got to grow up and then stand behind him. Life is hard. I know the challenge is always going to beat us home. Sometimes our parents make mistakes that affect us until we grow."
Each of these verses are addressed to somebody in Drake's family.
Yes.
Like this is addressed to his son. The next one is addressed to his mother. The next one is addressed to his dad.
Yeah.
The following one is addressed to his daughter. Hey, baby girl.
I'm sorry that your father not active inside your world. He don't commit to much, but his music, yeah, that's for sure. He's a narcissist, misogynist living inside his songs, try to destroy families rather than taking care of his own.
See, now the genius of this move of revealing that Drake has an 11-year-old daughter, even if it's not true, it feels like it could be true because of Drake's character.
Yes.
It still speaks to the character of and the morals of this particular man who is a deadbeat dad. I know in wrestling, in WWE, Dominic is always referring to Rey Mysterio as a deadbeat dad. And I love it. It's hilarious to me. But it's continuing to create this narrative that Drake is a narcissistic, horrible human being who is just siring these fucking kids and then leaving them. Like the only reason Pusha T had to bully him to
raise his son. Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Which that's diabolical. That says more about Drake than it does about like anything else.
Yeah, of course. Because why you have so much money, you have so much resources, yet you can't even possibly be in the life of the child or children that you sired. And it was very interesting to me that of all the allegations that Kendrick put out in that song, Drake only responded to one on his social media, talking about, if you could buy my daughter, I'll quit rap today. Like, but what about you being a pedophile?
Yeah, and honestly, that's when I knew that Drake lost this war.
Yeah.
Because like if your response to music isn't music, if your response is to you're the one who said like trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers.
Because Drake always goes to the internet to win his battles.
Yeah, like he's
expecting that the internet's going to rise up for him and everyone's going to be like, "Oh, Drake, you're the best," because he needs that validation.
And the truth is that at this point, it's probably not, which is why we end up capping off with Not Like Us. Yet 3 times in a week, Kendrick has come for Drake's throat. It started with Euphoria 4 times. I apologize. My apologies.
Yeah.
4 times. It started with Euphoria. Next was 616 in LA. Next was Meet the Grams. And then finally, we have Not Like Us is a bop.
And did you
It is a fucking bop, Odie.
Did you see the video of DJ Academics, Drake's biggest dick rider, going he was just so upset because he was like doing a live stream, listening to Meet the Grams, and then when he saw the next that Not Like Us dropped, he was just like, "What? What's going on?"
I saw that. I saw that.
But yeah, like so we go into Not Like Us, and Drake just continues to, or sorry, Kendrick continues to double down on Drake being a weirdo.
Yes.
One of my favorite verses is, "They tell me Chubb's the only one that get your hand-me-downs, and Party at the party playing with his nose now, and Baca got a weird case. Why is he around? Certified lover boy, certified pedophiles."
Certified lover boy, certified pedophiles.
That's such a fucking catchy thing to say.
Why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably
Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor.
I mean,
I love these drops.
Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor. When I see you stand by sexy red, I believe you see two bad bitches. What is it, the brakes?
You've got to do better, Senator.
Okay, sorry. That's not.
he also does have to do better.
But Drake has to do better. Like Drake has to. That should be the overall takeaway of this: is that Drake is not a good person. Drake is a user,
an abuser,
a loser, and we as a culture should choose to listen to somebody else who is of quality and of substance. Kendrick said, like, you make music that pacifies them, which is clever because pacifies and pacifier. I make music that electrifies them. And I absolutely believe that this poet laureate who has a Peabody, a Pulitzer. I thought he had a Peabody too.
Maybe.
I could be wrong. But this once in a lifetime act is really like doing all of this for the culture.
I have one question though.
Sure.
So in Drake's allegations, he alleges that Kendrick is cheating on his fiance and has also been abusive physically. Do you feel like that holds any weight? Because like to me, when I listen to what Kendrick says, I'm like, yeah, he's on point with that. I don't have any receipts, but I'm pretty sure that I believe him. But when Drake says his thing, I'm like,
I don't really hold much weight, not because I'm such a Kendrick stan that I don't think that he can't do no wrong or flawed or anything. He literally came out with an album called the Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers that revealed all of his flaws, including that song that illustrated like his relationship and stuff, and how it was, you know, like it was a dysfunctional romantic relationship. I think that Drake extrapolated that, and Kendrick said that he was going to do that. He was going to take stuff from Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers and extrapolate on that to make it seem like he's worse than what he has conveyed through his music. I don't believe that, because why would I believe somebody who lies already? He lied about his son. That's a whole fucking part of the Meet the Grams. He goes in and he talks about, like, you lied about your abs. You lied about your son. You lied about this. You lied about that.
Yeah.
And if somebody is like legitimately like a track record of lying, like, why the fuck would we believe it's the sheep calling the wolf? That is not the parable.
It's not, but I get what you're saying.
The boy who cried wolf.
Yes. Well, I'm very curious to see how far this goes.
When I see you stand by sexy red, I believe you see two bad bitches.
A big fuck you to DJ Vlad for trying to threaten Morgan Jenkins, who is a writer and a professor at Princeton, because she told him to stay out of it because he was trying to critique something that's not his business. I'm glad that Vlad is getting dragged because he's a culture vulture, much like Drake, and never has done anything for the culture besides be a menace. So
And shout out to Rory from the Rory and Maul show, because like he had a tweet that was in response to Peter Rosenberg. Peter Rosenberg from Hot 97 was like all of us, like quick to quote the colonizer line from Not Like Us, and Roy was basically like, I think we should probably sit this one out.
Should.
Like
So
hip hop is hip hop, but I have no room to say if anything is right or wrong when it comes to things like colonization and the history of like the fact that Kendrick has a breakdown of racial history in America to then show Drake how he himself is partaking in the same racial injustice that has been perpetrated throughout the fucking ages is incredible to me. Like, that's incredible work that only a skilled, imagine if this was early 2000s rap. It would mostly just be rappers calling each other the F word and saying I have more money than you. And we would just be sitting around looking like, ooh, he said a clever thing that was funny. That makes it better, you know? Like, this is a rap beef that I feel energized about because it shows how far we've come in rap beef.
Yeah.
Like, we're actually putting attention to the words that are being said. We're actually doing deep dive. Like, this has energized me. I'm going on Genius to see what each line that Kendrick says means.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The Genius
and I guess Drake too, because you know, his is Drake's disses have been surface level.
Yeah,
they're catchy, but they're surface
because
level.
he's not writing them. He's having other people.
Of course, he's not writing them.
So it's not going to be like what the shit that I have to say about you in my soul is going to go harder than.
As a matter of fact, they on the internet, they were showing the difference between Kendrick and Drake, where they look up the credits to their songs. Kendrick only has one credit, and that's Kendrick. Whereas Drake has like 5 different people on his song that he has to credit. Let me see if I can find it actually. Yeah, but that's credits. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, shut up. Family Matters was written by A. Graham. Lies. That's it. Lies and deceit.
Lies, fairy tales, and fantasies.
No, sorry, but we don't believe you. You need more people. Let me look up push-ups but we can move on, by the way.
Well, that was it. I would like everyone to listen to all of the listen to First Person Shooter, then listen to Like That, then listen to Push-Ups, then listen to Tailor Made, then go to Euphoria, 616 in LA, Family Matters, Meet the Grams, Not Like Us, and tell us what you think.
Who do you think is winning so far?
And you know what?
Honestly,
you don't have to agree with us. You could go off of what you think. We're just curious.
Yeah, I was legitimately asking you, who do you think is winning so far? Kendrick. Like, how far in the lead is he? Like, is it a decisive win, or is it like close?
Unanimous.
Unanimous. I'm interested in seeing what Drake will do to combat all this, because like this isn't over. This is far from over.
I'm looking forward to it. It's the summertime. We need
something to do. We need something, because we can't go outside just yet. It's too wishy-washy as far as like, oh, it's 80 degrees, but it's rainy. It's 50 degrees and you need a coat.
This is the type of battle that I enjoy spending time looking at and reading.
Me too.
You know,
yeah,
it's less sad.
Found it.
Everything else going on, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, folks,
how about we end on the things that made us happy?
Sure can.
Please talk.
Oh, all right. Well,
Yeah, Mike.
Baby merchant, tots are us. I give you all the service and no damn fuss. Give up, baby merchant, just a week or two. I'll have your baby for you.
so what's been making you happy this week?
First off, I want to say you being back from your trip and doing this podcast. I always enjoy doing the podcast with you. It was a bit of a bummer when you were away, but it's all good because you're back now. I enjoy spending time with you. And yeah. Second, this fucking rap beef, like it's engaging and it's a lot of fun to talk to people about.
Yeah.
So it's great water cooler conversation. Third, shout out again to my friend Danny, who hosted a great fucking, would you consider that a fish fry?
Kinda, yeah, it was a fish fry-esque.
Anytime I hear fish fry, I think of they cloned Tyrone in the
Yeah.
the thing that the mom always said.
Yeah.
Josephine had a fish fry. I'm still full.
I love good fish fry.
We should watch that tonight.
You always want to watch that. It's a good movie.
It's a good movie, but like we haven't. To
We
be
haven't
fair,
watched
we
it
haven't watched it
since
since
North
January.
Carolina.
Since January.
Yeah.
So it's fine that we could watch it again. Just saying. But we already have a bunch of other stuff on our list of stuff to watch. What about you? What's making you happy this week?
Of course, doing this podcast with you because it's something I always enjoy. Like I said, getting to see my family last week was great. And spending time with my baby. Of course, spending time with our friends. That's been great. Yeah. So just general, like spending time with the people that I love and care about always makes me happy.
Exactly. And I completely understand and agree and double what you just said. Like I'm jumping on your bandwagon. It's good to spend time with family and friends.
Yeah.
I can't wait till the next time I see my family, which is either going to be sometime in June, sometime in July, or the cruise in August. I have to figure out a budget. That's the only thing that's keeping me from my mom is budgets and budgetary reasons. It's cool though. It's cool. I'll figure it out. Shall we go in for the close?
Sure can.
We want to thank everybody for listening to the show, and we will be back next week with more of the Black and Snurdy podcast. Until then, take it easy, keep it sleazy, and don't wear blackface, because seriously, like, why would you? That's terrible. Don't do that.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnurdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snurdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snurdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's ThatsOD, and on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Study Podcast, where nerds of a feather rock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet. Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.